How'd I get into trucking? I got lucky. Ain't that something for someone just like me? Well, like a lot of truckers, my story starts in around 2010, 2011. We're still going through the recession, or well, recovering from the recession technically. But there was no jobs. Everybody was struggling to find jobs. And I'm 18, 19, 20, trying to find a career path. And college just isn't working out for me. I knew I wanted to work with my hands. I knew I didn't want to sit in the office. And on top of that, I just don't have the temperament for it. And I don't know. I had no direction in life. I had no idea what I was doing. But I knew ever since I was a little kid that I wanted to drive a truck. But here's the thing is, I thought it was some ultra exclusive club that the only way to get into trucking is you had to be born into it. You had to somehow be born with the skill. Or one of your parents was a truck driver and then just passed it on down to you. Or something. I don't know what I was thinking. But like I said, back in that time, it was a very confusing time. And there was nobody knew what the future of jobs was going to look like. They had no idea that the job market would be flooded nowadays. And so I knew I wanted to drive a truck, but there was just ingrained into me, you got to go to college, you got to do this, you got to get a degree. But I knew that wasn't for me. Luckily, through a car forum, I messaged this random guy. Okay, I've never met him before, but he made a post about how he just got a CDL and started trucking. This random guy, I messaged him and I said, look, I'm sorry, I don't know you, never met you at a car meet before, but I'd really like to get into trucking. I said, I know this is crazy ask, but I'm wondering if we can get to know each other and I could ride with you for a week or so, get to know what it's like. Well, he's actually said yes very generously. I rode with him two times for 2 weeks, separate weeks, each about a year apart. And so I got, the idea of, how trucking was, not just for, this 1 year, but for 2 years. And he said, the only thing I ask is you help me unload the truck. Well, that was an LTL job, and we had to unload the pallets and down stack them and turn them, one pallet into 3 pallets or whatever. And I wanted to do every aspect of trucking. So help him slide the tandems, do the pre-trip, and I made sure I tried to stay awake the whole time that he was driving too, and just get, understand every aspect of the lifestyle. And that's what I'd really recommend to everybody. But I can't say I wouldn't have been able to get into trucking, but that really helped. So he ended up hooking me with a job at the place he was working at. They put me through their trucking school. Typical, worked for about a year or so. And then my real good friend Brian said, oh, I got a friend Rudy that's a truck driver. And he says his company's looking for truck drivers. Well, I was kind of in bad shape with my first company and everything. It just, looked like a better opportunity at this other place. And again, a guy I'd never met before in my life, called him up, talked to him twice, and he said, yeah, come over here and work. I'm like, all right, I guess so. So I ended up just paying cash for my trucking school because, they got that contract that you have to work for them for a year. I just paid cash, and then we started working, where I'm working now and everything. And yeah, and yet again, it was somebody I never knew. On to chapter 3, things got rocky there and everything. And actually, a guy that I met from my first trucking school used to work for this other company, and I was wanting to be home more frequently and this and that, and just needed a different job. I ended up working for that company, and they treated me pretty well, and it was a good fit for a while. and I ended up going back here, and I've been working here since. But my point was that there, I could have gotten into trucking and gotten this far in life by myself, and anybody really can. But holy cow, it's amazing how lucky I got with the amount of people strangers that have helped me out through the years. And it's not just with getting me jobs. It's, whether I need a place to stay, and everything just seemed to fall into place. At the time, it seemed like everything was dire and the world was ending. But it's crazy how everything just really fell into place with trucking. Not without hard work and not without a ton of sacrifice. But for the most part, if I ever needed a place to stay, and I was either able to find one, or one of my friends was able to hook me up with a place to stay. And it's just amazing how, when it came into the clutch, I've always had someone to help me. Now, it's not always, a free handout. A lot of times, actually, it was. I'm a little bit embarrassed to say. But I just can't describe how many times I've needed something, and it's been down to the wire, and someone I know or someone I don't never met before has extended a helping hand, and always I've been able to get out of a lot of jams in life. But trucking has really been a blessing to me, I gotta say, and I don't know where I'd be without it, especially, like I said, things were so crazy, in the early teens, and got through it and everything, and it looks like things might get kind of crazy again. And if you guys are struggling, trucking might be a great way to get out of it right now.